At number 10, we have Britney Spears. After having a pretty public mental breakdown, Britney Spears made a spectacle of smearing food across her face in a restaurant. Britney was described as acting weird by fellow staff and celebrities present at the time of the incident. While sitting at her table, Britney started to play dress up with her dinner. While many were left feeling concerned and disturbed by the incident, the staff were quick to check on the star and escorted her from her table and out of the restaurant. Britney would then be later informed that she was no longer welcome in the restaurant or on the hotel grounds itself. Now, her behavior herself wasn't a sin or rude behavior, however, how she portrayed herself in public and how she never issued an apology for her actions definitely made some people raise some eyebrows. Luckily for Britney, after she cleaned herself up, the restaurant lifted its ban of 2 years and she was later pictured celebrating her 28th birthday. Now, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Number 9. Ariana Grande. Ariana once got banned for life from a donut shop after the star was caught on camera licking a bunch of donuts she didn't pay for. In 2015, the star entered the Wolfie Donut shop with some friends. When the clerk went to the back room, Grande would proceed to lick some donuts that she didn't pay for. Later, the owner of the restaurant watched the video and would end up banning her from the location for life. They would also go to try press charges against her. However, nothing ever went through with the charges because the incident would have only cost $4 for the donut she didn't pay for. The owner, however, was very upset with Ariana and said not even an apology from Grande would have caused him to change his mind. Unfortunately for Grande, the incident would have caused her chance to be booked to play a gig at the White House, and she would later go on to make jokes about herself for the incident. At number 8, we have Ruby Rose. Ruby Rose was once kicked out of a bar in New Orleans for allegedly throwing fries at the waitstaff. The star was described by the owner as being a child because she threw a big tantrum in the middle of the restaurant. After she threw the tantrum, the staff booted her from the establishment, where she then started to curse out the bartender and even began to throw food at the staff member. Ruby later would write a Facebook post where she didn't deny throwing the fries. However, she did explain why she did it. Ruby claimed that they waited 60 minutes for the fries and over 90 minutes for food that never showed up to the table. When they asked the bartender what was taking so long, he offered Ruby and her table some free drinks. When the star told the bartender no thanks, she said he started to mock her and her friends. At one point, the bartender even told her to go call her sponsor, and that's when the star reacted to throwing a french fry at the staff member. Ruby would later say she regretted how she acted and maybe she wouldn't throw french fries again. But maybe next time the bartender wouldn't be so insensitive. Number 7. Stuart Raw. Not only has Stuart been kicked out of Nobu, but he's also been banned from the popular Japanese restaurant. Back in 2012, the New York Post reported that the billionaire was banned for life as he tried to bribe people to give up their table for him. He then continued to call the manager Sharon, demeaning names, while he was escorted out of the restaurant. However, the drama wouldn't stop there. Stuart would then send an email to Nobu co-owner Drew demanding that the manager be fired and seat some big name celebrities such as Leonardo DiCaprio, Alicia Keys, and Mark Wahlberg. This also isn't the first time the billionaire hasn't played well with others, as the star has allegedly started fights with Tiger Woods and has even been thrown out of a celebrity Hamptons party after being labeled a stalker. If we learned anything from Stuart, it's that just because you have money, it doesn't give you the right for a free pass. Number 6. Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy once helped save a woman in a car crash after getting kicked out of a restaurant in Houston. After performing at the Houston Improv, the comedian decided to head over to the Yard House for some drinks with his friends. However, the management staff at the Yard House had to ask Jamie to leave and proceeded to escort the star out of the building for using profanity with the waitstaff. After leaving the establishment without a fight, Jamie decided he wasn't ready to go home for the night and proceeded to head to a different bar. Around 2:40 a.m., when the star was walking to the next location, a car flipped over up onto the sidewalk where they were walking just 10 feet in front of them. Jamie and his entourage then proceeded to help the two women out of the smoking car. Number 5. Jamie Foxx. Stars witnessed Jamie Foxx get kicked out of a restaurant while he was assaulted at his table. Jamie was reportedly having dinner at the restaurant when a customer approached his table and complained to him that him and his friends were being too loud. When the group proceeded to not care, the person yelled, "You don't want to mess with me? I'm from New York." Jamie then fired back, "F you, I'm from Oakland. The person then began to charge at Fox, and some witnesses even said Fox began to fight back and took the person down. Both parties were eventually thrown out of the restaurant for their bad behavior. Number 4, we have Dennis Rodman. Charles Oakley had to once kick Dennis Rodman out of his steakhouse for eating off of other people's plates. Charles said he agreed to meet with Dennis at his steakhouse after the two made an appearance at a Miami event together. However, before he arrived, he got a phone call from his manager telling him to get to the location as fast as he could. When Charles arrived to the location, he looked through the window and saw Dennis eating, then moving to the next table and eating some more. Charles went straight up to Dennis and asked him what he was doing. Dennis responded by saying, "I'm relaxing and trying to entertain." Now, Charles clearly wasn't impressed with the star's action and proceeded to kick him out of the restaurant. He then told the basketball star to never come near him again, destroying their relationship off the court. What Dennis thought was a joke clearly wasn't, and he should have known better than to do that in a high-class restaurant. At number 3, we have Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage was once kicked out of a restaurant after being mistaken for being homeless. Now, the Oscar winner was at the Laurie Prime Rib restaurant located in Las Vegas. In a video later obtained by The Sun, you could see the star sitting on the restaurant sofa in a drunken state. Now, it's easy to see why the restaurant would have mistaken the star first as being homeless, considering he was wearing cheetah print PJ pants and he had no shoes on. While waiting for the table, he was acting rowdy and proceeded to get into an altercation with the staff. Even after being escorted out of the restaurant, Cage continued to argue with the staff while trying to go back in. While Nicholas did ignore to comment about the incident, he did say his work did help him avoid getting into situations like the one at the restaurant. Number 2, Jenna Fisher. Now, Jenna actually wasn't kicked out of a restaurant in real life. However, her character Pam in the comedy show The Office was. It all started when Jenna decided to tweet a photo of her pictured in front of the restaurant where she asked if she should try to go in. Pam in the show was so tipsy she continually began to fall out of her chair and displayed some pretty rude behavior. It got to the point that the restaurant owner stated she was no longer welcome back at the restaurant chain ever again. Number 1, James Corden. Recently, James Corden was banned from a famous New York City restaurant after being a jerk to wait staff. The owner of the restaurant, Keith McNally, posted to his Instagram to state the comedian was effectively banned from his famous bistro after he became one of the most abusive customers to enter location since it opened. So you're probably wondering what led James to be banned. Well, Keith detailed 2 examples of how the star misconducted himself at the restaurant, which led to his ban being indefinite. The first example is he was extremely nasty to servers, demanded drinks to come to his table, and that they be comped altogether. The second incident took place when James' wife, Julia, received her egg yolk omelet only to find that there was some egg whites mixed in. The omelet was then remade and brought back to the table with fries instead of a salad. James then continued to yell at the staff that they didn't know how to do their jobs. Eventually, the situation was resolved when the floor manager decided to step in. James has yet responded to Keith's allegation. However, if one thing's clear, he definitely won't be eating at this location for a while. And number 10, we have Kim Kardashian. When Kim Kardashian took her son Saint to an LA Rams game, Kim was sadly met with boos from the crowd when her face was featured on the big screen. Soon after, a video would start to circulate on social media, which showed the crowd cameras first focusing on John Legend before cutting to Kim, and when the video cut to Kim, the crowd would start to boo in the background. Although the reason behind the booing was unclear, Kim decided to react to the situation in a cute, casual way. The star ended up looking up at the screen wearing a pair of signature huge sunnies and blew a little kiss while offering a small little wave to the crowd, making it such an iconic moment. Many fans were quick to call out the booing, as it was a shame to see people boo her when she was trying to treat her child to such a beautiful gift. I mean, so apparently normal people can be shown on the camera, but as soon as Kim Kardashian is, it's no longer okay. Alright my little peaches, are you enjoying this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 9 we have Emma Stone. In October, Emma Stone and her husband, Dave McCary, experienced what it's like to be booed by fans who are loyal to the New York Mets. After the Jumbotron showed them wearing San Diego Padres attire to support the team, just as the Jumbotron operator promptly put up and held a shot of Emma and her husband repping the Padres gear, the crowd would erupt in boos, and they definitely didn't deserve it. So we all have our opinions on different sports teams, but isn't the whole point of the game about bringing people together to support our favorite teams? We seriously need to stop judging people for who they support, and we really need to start supporting the teams we like instead. However, even though the crowd did boo Emma and Dave, the San Diego Padres would later post a photo saying they were big fans of these fans. At number 8 we have Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner. It turns out that Kim wouldn't be the only one from her family booed at a Rams game, as both Kendall and Kylie Jenner got booed by the crowd after being shown on the Jumbotron. When the stars were enjoying watching the Los Angeles Rams in a Baltimore Ravens game in the VIP section, the camera would pan across their group. In a video shared to Instagram, it would show Kendall noticing her face on the big screen while blowing a little kiss to the chorus of fans booing. Mike Singleton would then later take to Twitter with a photo of Kylie and Kendall at the game on the Jumbotron and would say the entire stadium booed when Kendall and Kylie were shown on it. Now, the sisters have received a lot of ridicule from the public, but considering they weren't doing anything but watching the game, it was a straight up rude move by the sports fans. At number 7 we have Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift outraged a gaggle of fans when they waited to catch a glimpse of her after Abigail Anderson's wedding. TMZ would later post a video that showed Taylor exit the church, and it showed security going to great lengths to shield her from a bunch of kids and adults standing outside hoping that Taylor would grace them with her presence for a moment. It was only a 10-foot walk to the church to the waiting SUV. However, Taylor wanted to support her friend on her wedding day rather than playing catch up with her fans. So fans quickly went from being like, "We love you Taylor," to booing, and some even chanted, "Very disappointing, not cool." But the only uncool thing was fans thinking it was okay to show up at a wedding uninvited and expecting the bridesmaid to show them some love. Celebrities are normal people and they need their space too, guys, so stop going to great lengths to try to meet them. It's just not right. Number 6 we have Cher Lloyd. It's hard enough dealing with the pressure of performing in front of a crowd, and Cher Lloyd definitely didn't deserve what happened to her at V Festival back in 2012. While the star was performing, she would leave the stage in tears after she was hit with 2 bottles filled with urine. As the singer would leave the stage, the crowd would ignite with boos. When the singer decided to return to the stage, she would tell the crowd it's hard enough being up here and it's not nice having bottles chucked at you. More bottles would then start to fly towards her on the stage, so she ended up canceling her show. Cher definitely made the right decision to walk away from the disaster rather than engaging with her fans, and it really makes you wonder why anybody would want to throw bottles of urine at someone in the first place. That's just disgusting, and no one deserves that. At number 5 we have Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart collaboration with director Oliver Assayas in the film Personal Shopper was booed following a press screening at the Cannes Film Festival. Now, it's a certain perverse genius to unveiling a ghost movie at Cannes Festival that relies on the audience to deliver boos as the final credits roll. No one doubts what Oliver was going for in his Personal Shopper film, but it's clear that Cannes Film Festival can't handle ghosts. Now, after the audience had finished hissing and groaning during the credit rollout, Kristen Stewart would later laugh it off in a press conference saying, "Hey, everyone did not boo. Things like this do happen, but maybe if you don't like the film, write a review. There's no need to embarrass the creators at an event like a film festival when it already took them so much courage to show their work in the first place." At number 4 we have Drake. Drake received a cold welcome when he made a surprise guest appearance at Tyler the Creator's Camp Flog Gnaw Carnival in Los Angeles back in 2019. Many fans in attendance were expecting Frank Ocean to be the surprise performer, so when Drake took the stage to perform a short set, fans were shocked. When Drake took the stage, he would say, "They told me to come out and maybe do like 2 or 3 songs for y'all tonight, but I'm gonna ask for your permission because I know this is your festival, and I'm gonna ask your permission if I can stay up here and turn up with you a little longer tonight. If you want me to keep going, I will keep going. The crowd then started to boo and scream no. Drake then, before exiting the stage, said, "It's been love, I love y'all. I go by the name Drake, thank you for having me." And then Drake would exit the stage 20 minutes earlier than he was supposed to. Many of Drake's fans would then even head to the internet to say it was a pretty painful moment to watch. Drake just wanted to vibe with you guys, and you ended up going 20 minutes without a show. So how did that one feel? At number 3, we have Kevin Hart. Take Kevin Hart's mistake and know it's probably not a good idea to mess with Crabfest attendees. To be fair, comedy can be a brutal industry. However, Kevin performed a stand-up routine during a crab festival in New York, and it didn't go well. The crowd at the crab festival was really enjoying their seafood, music, and dancing when the festival officials halted the entertainment to introduce Kevin's set. When Kevin went to make a joke, a lady in the audience would so quietly say, "No baby, no, just give it up baby." Hart would then go on to mimic it in a sad but gentle voice. Other people in the crowd would then start to yell, "Let us eat our crabs, we just want to eat our crabs," which became a polite way to boo him off the stage. I mean, you guys did book Kevin Hart to be there at the event, so that one definitely had to hurt the comedian. At number 2, we have Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber got booed at a Montreal concert after he did taunt Canadian hockey fans. Now, Justin Bieber definitely lost some fans in Montreal after the singer performed back in March during his Justice World Tour. The singer would be booed by the concertgoers after the pop star made some comments about the city's hockey team, the Montreal Canadiens. Now, if you've ever been to Montreal, then you know they take their hockey team pretty seriously. So you don't want to make the mistake as Justin did, or you might have to deal with some pretty die-hard fans, and it's never a good situation. Now, Bieber was on the stage, and it's like he almost forgot what city he was in when he expressed his love for the Toronto Maple Leafs. When he said, "How about those Leafs though, huh?" This immediately met the audience with a sea of loud boos and profanities, and some concertgoers even stuck up the finger. Justin then went on to say that Austin Matthews scored a goal against the Canadiens and that he was doing some great work in Montreal. Now, do you think Justin deserved to be booed for this one? And let me know in the comments below. And at number 1 today, we have One Direction. In 2013, One Direction was booed at the MTV VMAs when the group won a Moon Man for Best Song of the Summer for their song Best Song Ever. However, when the group took the stage, they would soon be greeted with boos from the audience over the result of the viewer-voted award. One Direction fans clocked in a total of 8 million votes, which pushed the band to the top of the category. When Styles said, "Wow, we want to say a massive thank you to all of our fans. We know this is a voted award, so thank you to everyone who voted. It means a lot. Very much to us." They would then be met with some boos. Now I get it, Miley Cyrus should have won for her song We Can't Stop, but you all didn't have to be sore losers about your favorite song not winning the award. One Direction fans won the award for their group fair and square, so just let them have their moment and take to the internet later. And number 10, her skincare scam. After Millie posted a video to her Instagram pretending to use a range of her skincare products in a tutorial video, many people would come for the star and point out that by the end of the video, she still looked like she had makeup on and she didn't even use the products to remove her makeup. After the video was met with some large amount of controversy, Millie would take to Instagram to apologize to her fans by saying, "I'm still learning the best way to share my routines as I get to know this space better. I'm not an expert. I thought that doing a quick video replication of my personal process for the night was okay, but that's not what was conveyed." She then added that she understood and appreciated all of our feedback and encouraged us all to share her thoughts. Despite her asking her fans to share their thoughts, she would then disable the comments on her video. Now, Millie hasn't been the first celebrity to lie about using skincare products, which is why a lot of the internet came for her as they felt like she should have learned from other celebrities' mistakes. But considering Millie was still a child, you should all go easy on her because she's truly doing amazing things here at such a young age. And number 9, her friendship with Drake. Fans for years have been saying Millie's relationship with Drake has gone way too far. So it's no secret Millie has had a good relationship with Drake. While Drake being 17 years older than her, people have been divided when it comes to their friendship. With some people believing that their relationship is harmless, others have pointed out if they were 14 and they were friends with a 31-year-old rapper, their parents would be very uncomfortable about it. Many people on the internet have even come for both stars. Many have stated it made Millie appear like she could act older, and what she was actually doing was turning a blind eye to not noticed Drake's odd behavior befriending someone who is 17 years younger than him. When Millie first stated that she was Drake's BFF who texted all the time, I think we all raised our eyebrows, as it sounded wildly inappropriate for the adult rapper to have a relationship with any sort of teenager, especially one who is not in the music industry. While many fans have pointed out a number of red flags, despite Millie calling out their friendship, she fails to see the problem with the attention she is receiving from older men, and that's just something that's not sitting right with a lot of the internet at this moment. At number 8, David Harbour. When fans came forward to label Millie as a massive diva due to her having a bit of a mean streak, she also has been known to be pretty disrespectful to her Stranger Things co-stars. One incident people weren't particular about was when she had an incident with 47-year-old actor David Harbour, who was doing an interview with Millie. During the interview, David was trying to be sweet when he decided in the middle of the interview to compliment the young actress for her acting and general persona. However, instead of allowing her co-star to give her a little moment, she decided she would rather be the center of attention and started to make faces before finally interrupting David in the middle of his speech. Millie even hopped out of her chair to physically get David to stop his speech. David, being a good guy he was, just brushed it off. However, when he tried to continue speaking, Millie just continued on with her bizarre antics, and David just decided enough was enough, and he smiled the rest of the way through the interview. And he definitely seemed annoyed with her overall antics, and we all noticed. At number 7, the group interviews. Even the younger actors on the show Stranger Things have to deal with Millie's rude behavior on a number of different occasions, especially in interviews. Multiple online videos can show Millie talking over or interrupting the other cast members of Stranger Things when they did press tours or interviews together. As the interviews go on, you can notice the actors look understandably frustrated. While the actors will remain professional and they seem to get along with each other, it's hard to imagine that they're truly okay with Millie's rude behavior, especially when she cuts them off in the middle of their sentences. So the question still remains, why does Millie think it's okay to treat her fellow co-stars with such little respect, and why does she always try to cut them off so frequently? During the interviews, it seems like she likes to cut one of her co-stars off more than the others, especially when it comes to Sadie Sink. Millie has definitely liked to cut her off a little more than the rest. Despite the two claiming to be best friends off set, Millie's abrupt cutoff has reached a point where in one interview, another one of the show stars, Caleb McLaughlin, had to even ask, "Hey Sadie, do you want to talk?" And number 6, the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. I think we've all noticed that a lot of the Stranger Things cast has had enough with Millie and her odd, frankly rude behavior, especially when she chooses to overstep her boundaries during interviews as she tries to rush in and speak every second. Her co-star, Caleb, has also been receiving the end of Millie's tendencies to interrupt people. And it's made a lot of people come for the star, especially when it came to an incident that happened at the Nickelodeon Awards ceremony back in 2018. When Caleb, Sadie, and Millie went on the stage at the award ceremony to accept the Stranger Things award, the cameras would capture Millie shoving Caleb aside when it was her chance to address the audience. She decided she didn't want to wait for Caleb to step aside, and instead she took over the microphone as though there was no one around her, and her moves ended up making Caleb almost stumble and fall in front of thousands of people, and he definitely did not look impressed with the star. The overall move was really disturbing as well. We wish that she would have done better and just waited for her co-star to finish his speech rather than rushing things. At number 5, we have eating Pop Rocks. When Millie Bobby Brown gagged while eating Pop Rocks during a really funny BuzzFeed video, I think we all had a good laugh at the star. While her and her two co-stars in the video were playing with a bunch of toys and candies from the 90s, we really enjoyed watching them obsess over our 90s favorites, and it was such a throwback moment that it made us all miss the 90s. However, when the staff brought out the Pop Rocks, we were all shocked at the fact that Millie had no idea what they were. And you could definitely tell that she never tried them before, and it was really clear that she had no idea what they even were. So Caleb and Gatton graciously explained to her what the candies were supposed to do when they came in contact with her tongue. However, Millie decided to put too many candies in her mouth way too fast, and at one point she almost choked on the candy, and then she looked way too scared to even enjoy the candy for what it even was. The entire video was actually such an embarrassing moment for the young actress, as she actually didn't know any of the retro toys that were presented to the group, and the fact that she didn't know what Pop Rocks were and the way she did them was insulting to all 90s children. And number 4, the flat earth conspiracy. When Millie was just 14, she posted a video on TikTok where she addressed that the earth was flat, and a lot of people started to troll the star for her beliefs. When the star took to her social media to express her views on the shape of our planet, she definitely wasn't shy on speaking out about her beliefs. After sharing her thoughts about the earth being flat, a lot of people started to hate on the young actress. Many have even started to tease her on her own opinions. Now, a lot of the comments were actually pretty funny to read. Even though her views were expressed on the topic a long time ago, fans have continued to poke fun at the star for her beliefs. In 2018, Millie took to her social media for a live Q&A, and one fan then asked Millie if she thought the earth was flat. Millie would answer by saying, "I mean, think about it. I don't even know, I think I am. What do you call it? I think they call it a flat earther." So obviously she struggled with her words. Now jumping to 2022, Millie has admitted she doesn't believe the earth is flat any longer. However, her statement was definitely contradicting, because she would go on to have doubts by saying, "Although I've never seen it, you know when you're on the plane and sometimes you can see it, the curb, I've not seen that yet." And number 3, scared of bungalows. Even though Millie plays such a scared nothing character on the show Stranger Things, the star is secretly scared of bungalows because they really freak her out. While Millie appeared on the late night show with Stephen Colbert, she would say that they really freaked her out because it's a house with no stairs, and then she said, "You have no place to escape. You're on one level. I don't know, I just feel safer with stairs. I don't run up the stairs fast, as I feel I could fall. But I like stairs around me." After that statement, every horror movie fan on the internet would definitely start to hate on Millie. So you think because Millie is working on a horror sci-fi show, then she would know the #1 rule when it comes to horror movies, and that would be never run up the stairs. It's funny that the star thinks that having stairs around her will keep her safe, and sadly the reality is that running up the stairs to avoid danger could only land you into some more trouble. Just take the Scream franchise for a second into consideration. Every time one of those characters tried to escape from the man behind the mask by running up the stairs, it always ended badly. But if she feels safe with stairs, then stairs it is. And number 2, the time she met Audrey Ho. Not only is Millie's behavior odd with her fellow cast members, but she also happens to be quite dismissive in real life. And in one incident, she ended up showing us all how dismissive she really was when she was extremely rude to a fan and fellow cast member. When Audrey Hope, a young actress, uploaded a video to the internet, she would share an awful story about Millie. And it would cause the internet to come for Millie because we couldn't believe how dismissive she actually was to someone who wanted to enter into the industry. Now, if you don't know who Audrey is, she worked as an extra on the season of Stranger 2. Her performance was so good as an extra that they even invited her to the premiere event with the entire cast and crew of the series. When she got invited to the event, Audrey was really excited and she really hoped she would get the chance to meet Millie. And since Millie entered into the industry, she always thought Millie was some sort of idol, and she was inspired to one day be a great actress as Millie. When Audrey spotted Millie at the event, she gathered enough courage to go up to her and ask for a photo. However, it didn't go as planned, as Millie took one look at her and walked off without even saying no. Instead, she told her she'd be back to take a photo, and Audrey ended up waiting a long time for her to come back. However, Millie never showed, and the internet was definitely not having it because she could have just said no, but instead she made her fan wait for hours just for a hope that she could grab a photo with the star. And at number 1 today, we have her fashion. Now, since Millie entered into the industry, many people have been quick to call out the star's fashion as they believed it's too mature for her age. One particular look that the internet was not fond of was her outfit to the 26th annual Screen Actors Guild. At the age of 15, the actress was one of the first megastars to hit the red carpet at the event, and Millie could be seen spotting a trouser and coat dress that was designed by Louis Vuitton. And it was truly a stunning look. The look was created by Louis Vuitton's team to help bring her vision of high fashion to life. While Millie's look was a fresh take on the red carpet, it would cause the star and her team to quickly come under fire, as many felt like the look was inappropriate for a teenage girl. On social media, Twitter users would then come out to say, "Millie Bobby Brown's stylist should be sacked. She's just 15 years old, but looks 30 at the SAG Awards last night. So disturbing." Millie would then come out to defend her look by reminding critics that she has the right to choose what she wants to wear. Now, it's funny how people can say stuff about the star being too young, and you think because the star was only 15 at the time, people would stop criticizing her, But some people, mostly adults, felt like it was okay to insult her, which it definitely was not. So while you are entitled to your own opinions, maybe remember that sometimes things are left better unsaid, so if you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
Number 10, Kanye West ranting about Kim on Skid Row. Kanye West definitely isn't known for being the most normal celebrity there is, but there was one moment in 2021 where the rapper appeared particularly tone deaf, even for him. Following a split from Kim Kardashian, Kanye had that period of time where he seemed to want to publicly ask her to take him back, including while giving a speech on Skid Row. Skid Row is the infamous downtown Los Angeles neighborhood known for its abject poverty and common violence. The rapper made an appearance during their Thanksgiving food drive for the less fortunate with Reverend Troy Vaughn. But while giving what was supposed to be an empowering speech to the homeless and poverty-stricken people who wanted to sit down for a hot meal, Kanye decided that that was the time to go on a lengthy rant about how God wants him back with Kim Kardashian. While in front of groups of people waiting for food, Kanye made the incredibly confusing statement of, quote, "If the enemy can separate Kimye, there's going to be millions of families that feel like that separation is okay. But when God brings Kimye back together, there's going to be millions of families that are going to be influenced to see that they can overcome the work of the separation, of trauma the devil has used to capitalize to keep people in misery while people step over homeless people to go to the Gucci store." Even for Kanye, a billionaire telling one of the largest unhoused populations in the US that God would reconcile him with his estranged billionaire ex-wife to help their cause is a bit much. Number 9, Ariana Grande licking donuts. Back in 2015, the former Nickelodeon star was the picture of innocence and was quickly becoming America's sweetheart. But things took a weird turn when surveillance footage displayed Ariana licking a tray of donuts in a small California bakery and remarking, quote, "What the f*** is that? I hate Americans, I hate America." Apparently, her excuse for licking the donut was she was frustrated because of the rates of childhood obesity in America. But like, girl, you walked into a bakery. What were you expecting? Carrots? After the onslaught of backlash and a police investigation, the singer issued a video apology, quote, "Seeing a video of yourself behaving poorly that you had no idea was taken is such a rude awakening that you don't know what to do. I was so disgusted with myself." While it's definitely not the worst thing a celebrity has done, it's definitely one of the more confusing and out of touch things. I wonder if any of those donuts got sold to some unsuspecting customers afterwards. Number 8, the Kendall Jenner Pepsi commercial. The famous Pepsi commercial that made the rounds back on the internet back in 2017. While America was embroiled in protests and the exposing of the police force for brutality and blatant racism, Kendall Jenner thought that was the right time to crack open a cold, crisp Pepsi and tell everyone to just get along. While the rest of the world was fighting for equal rights, Pepsi released a commercial that put the reality star at the forefront of a pretty cringy moment where she was at the front of an unspecified protest citing peace and love with signs saying, quote, "Join the conversation." Kendall even bravely handed a Pepsi to a police officer in full riot gear. He drank it, and the entire crowd of protesters cheered and laughed and hugged in glee. Yay for equality. One YouTube commenter even stated, quote, "I find it amazing how they managed to offend so many groups of people and yet say absolutely nothing at the same time." Obviously, the internet was enraged, as at the same time this video dropped, protesters were being taken in unmarked vans by the FBI, and people were rightly angry at Pepsi for trying to profit off of the mass suffering of others. Kendall also swiftly apologized for appearing in the video, saying, quote, "I felt so fucking stupid. The fact that I would offend other people or hurt other people was definitely not the intent." Number 7, Justin Bieber and Anne Frank. While on tour in Amsterdam, Justin Bieber made a stop at the Anne Frank house back in 2013. While there, he wrote a message in the guest book that lit the internet on fire. The then 19-year-old Justin wrote, quote, "Truly inspiring to be able to come here. Anne was a great girl. Hopefully she would have been a believer." It provoked fierce online criticism for Bieber, who was accused of making the museum dedicated to the horrific experiences of Jewish people during the war about himself. However, the museum itself defended the star, although they did add the comment that his comment, quote, "wasn't very sensible." A spokesperson for the museum defended Bieber on the BBC, stating, quote, "He's 19. It's a crazy life he's leading. He didn't mean bad. And also, it's nice that he made the effort." he didn't have to come. And I mean, for what it's worth, and if you know me, I'm the last to defend celebrities, I kind of get where he's coming from. If Anne Frank were allowed to live now, where she would be a normal girl doing normal teenage girl things, she would have been afforded the luxury of obsessing over a pop star like so many kids do. But sadly, she wasn't. And I think that may have been the point that Bieber was trying to make, albeit in a very tone-deaf manner. Number 6, Sam Smith having a meltdown. If 2020 has taught us anything, it's that celebrities love to complain from their ivory thrones. Take Sam Smith, for example. During the strict times of the stay-at-home order, they took the opportunity to take pictures of themselves crying while sitting on the steps of their multi-million-dollar mansion, with the caption about having a meltdown because they were forced to stay at home. Meanwhile, New York City had to bring in emergency ships just to house the amount of bodies that had been overwhelming crematoriums, to the point that they couldn't house any more victims of illness. Poor Sam Smith and their sad little life. Number 5, Gal Gadot's Imagine. Another top moment from the mess that was 2020. Although she wasn't the only celebrity to take part in this weird out-of-touch video, Gal Gadot was the spearhead of it all. In a mashup with tons of different high-profile celebrities who all sang John Lennon's Imagine while locked inside their mega mansions, the moment was supposed to come across as heartwarming. Instead, people just saw these celebrities as not understanding the severity of what was happening to everyone around the world. Millions of people were dying, and Gal Gadot thought it was a good idea to preach peace and love while inside her heavily surveillanced mansion with a swimming pool and private chef. But like I said before, it wasn't just her. She also got Will Ferrell, Amy Adams, Natalie Portman, Mark Ruffalo, and Zoe Kravitz, among many others, to sing the song as well. Number 4, James Corden in a rat suit singing with Camila Cabello. Listen, I'm fine with celebrities doing their weird little things so long as it's over there where I don't have to see them. Kind of like a spider in my room that stays on the other side of the room and very far away from me. But when they decide to inconvenience people going about their day, nah, that's when it gets weird. Like for instance, one Los Angeles morning when James Corden and Camila Cabello decided it was a good idea to stop traffic in a city that's already known for insane gridlock and sing the song Can't Hurt You as a promotion for the new Cinderella movie that Camila stars in. James Corden was in a rat suit singing the song while everyone blocked traffic. Someone online even joked, quote, "Your husband just sliced the tip of his finger off making dinner and it won't stop bleeding. You're rushing to the emergency room and this happens. What you doing?" And then linked the video of James hip thrusting at a car in a rat costume. Number 3, Logan Paul in the Japanese forest. Okay, for this one, I'll say Logan definitely got pretty swift recourse after he published a video on his YouTube channel of him and his friends traversing through a forest in Japan that is known as being a place where people go to end their own lives. He and his friends had come across a body of an individual who had done just that and decided to film the body and themselves looking shocked while staring at it. The move was swiftly remarked as extremely insensitive, especially since it was monetized, showing that Paul got financial gain off of the immense suffering of others. His career was basically temporarily ruined over the video, although he's back now with a very successful podcast, albeit it's a bit more grown up. Number 2, Gwyneth Paltrow's life is harder than everyone else's. Gwyneth Paltrow is the queen of pissing people off. While she had a long history of saying things like, quote, "I'd rather die than eat cheese from a tin," she also managed to upset basically every mom by moaning about how her life is harder than everyone else's. Back in 2014, she told E! News, quote, "I think it's different when you have an office job because it's routine and, you can do all the stuff in the morning and then you can come home in the evening. When you're shooting a movie, they're like, we need you to go to Wisconsin for 2 weeks. And then you work 14 hours a day, and that part of it is very difficult. I think to have a regular job and be a mom is not as, of course there are challenges, but it's not like being on set." I think she failed to mention all the babysitters and full-time nannies and chefs she can afford to hire to care for her kids while she's off making millions of dollars. Number 1, Kendall Jenner and her cucumbers. Kendall Jenner once again has made herself known to be completely out of touch with reality on the new episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Kendall insisted on cutting a cucumber herself while her mom seemed worried and asked her to ask the chef to do it. But she said no because cutting a cucumber is, quote, "pretty easy." Which it is, but not for her apparently. The model absolutely could not figure out how to properly cut a cucumber, to the point where Chris stepped in and told her to get their in-house chef to do it for her. People online were calling it pathetic and tragic, which it absolutely was.